Hi guys, it's Lady Lauren Explorer, and today I'm doing my last book haul of 2021. It seems like every month I get new books. I love that. But then I also have to do huge book hauls with these books. So let's just jump into what I think is over 40 books, I think. Let's just jump into it. The Unbroken by C.L. Clarke. This is I think the limited edition of this. And this is a epic fantasy that's sapphic. And I just love this. So cute. And this is also by a BIPOC author. And it's like a chunker right now. It's chunker. I can't wait to read what is about to go on. If you haven't seen my book subscription box haul, then you don't know about me about to get 3 editions of the same book. But here are my 2 right now. This is my Fox and Wit edition of Marvelous Light, and this is my Rainbow Crate edition of Marvelous Light. And this is a historical queer fantasy. This tells a story about a man who all of a sudden accidentally gets put as a liaison for a magical world that he had never knew existed in England. And he has to solve why his predecessor disappeared mysteriously. There's a family curse that he's dealing with a person he's partnered with. And then there's an underlying secret that might wipe out the magicians of the world. So I'm just waiting. Literally, my Lumicrate box with this edition in it has just shipped. So I'm going to have 3 editions. Next, I have my special edition of The Actual Star by Monica Bryan. This is super, super special because it is the 72 copy of this. Yes. So this is basically like 3 timelines telling of 4 different stories, I think. But I just can't wait to read this. I then have my Illuminate edition of Dark and Hollow Star by Ashley Shuttleworth. I know that this is basically Six of Crows in Canada, maybe. Well, I know it's in Canada. Six of Crows, maybe. But I know that there's a whole bunch of queer rep in here. And I know we're following a lot of characters. So almost like Six of Crows. But I bought this because I know that the second one's coming out. And I wanted to basically have the second one before I read the first one. So I had to get the first one. Again, if you haven't seen my unboxing for book subscription boxes, this is my first ever my own purchase subscription of a Lumicrate, and it came with Little Thieves. Yes. So these next 4 are literally all Lumicrate. These are special editions. This is coming from my favorite author, TJ Klune. I have The House in Sea. I hope I said that right. And I know this is also, they're both queer. And I have Under the Whispering Door. I just, look at that. Doesn't that just speak to you? I've heard so many good things about these 2 books, but also I will always buy TJ Klune's books, literally, because I love Wolfsong so much. And I love the Bear, Otter, and the Kid series. Yes. So I had to get these, and they're cute. The next came in my Afterlight subscription, and it's Olivia Dade. And this one was the actual book that came in Afterlight. And this tells the story of a woman who is a therapist to a Hollywood star because he's getting out of control, and then he and her start to fall in love and all that kind of stuff. And then the second one is the spoiler alert, which basically is about a woman who makes fan fictions about her favorite actor. He finds out about it, they go on a date, and they fall in love. Then I have 2 editions of the same book. I have Our Violin Ends. This is the Alcrate exclusive. I haven't even opened it. And then I have the Waterstones edition of it. So I've heard so many good things about this book. I haven't even read the first one because I wanted to wait for the second one to come out so I could have the complete, because I think this is a duology. I heard that the first one was like really great, but the last one is epic. And this is a big girl, so I think it's like 570 something pages. So I am ready for the retelling of, well, the loose retelling of Romeo and Juliet, where Juliet is a part of the triads and Romeo is a part of the Russian mob, and they have, rivals. They're rivaling gangs, but they also have to battle monsters. And this is set in historical, it's set in a historical time, like 1972 or something like that, or 1927. It's one of those, I am so ready for a great series. And last of my special editions, I actually don't know if anyone knows about this book at all on BookTube, but I have no idea what this book is about at all. I bought it because of the aesthetics it brings me. So this is Made to Order. I don't even know how to pronounce the name. It's like the Occumini. It's okay. I don't know what this book is about. I don't know who wrote this book. I don't know anything about this book. Let me show you why I bought it. Look at that. One more time. Ooh. I know you're not supposed to buy like for face value, but I had to. This is such a good looking book. First, I have I'm a rep for I Smell Books. So this came in the I Smell Books November box, and it's All Is Villains by Amanda Foody and Christina Herman. And if you don't know, this book is about a tournament that happens in this one town, and it's been happening for decades, I think even centuries. And then there's a tell-all book that talks about this tournament and brings a public eye to the tournament that's happening this year in the book. And every year, every couple of years, 7 contestants fight to the death to run the town. And now that there's a spotlight on them, it's even more epic. Everyone loves a good reality show, and I think this is a perfect murder reality show. Next is If This Gets Out by Sophia Gonzalez and Kel Dietrich. This basically is what I dream about when I'm reading fan fiction sometimes. This is about a boy band, and 2 of their members like each other, but they don't want to ruin their career in music because they're gay. So they're trying to figure out and navigate the fame world while also trying to keep the relationship secret. And if they can, and also if the fans and their label mates, their bandmates, and basically everyone will be okay with them being gay. This sounds so good, and I am so ready for my fan fiction to come to life in this book. I have Den of Vipers by K.A. Knight. This is basically a dark romance with a reverse harem, and it has the trope, touch her and I'll kill you. I love that trope. I love toxicness in my books. So this is a big daddy as well. I am ready for the dark romance aspect of it. I'm ready to see how toxic her reverse harem is. I am just ready for all this and more. I have T. Marie Vandelli. This is theme music. This is a domestic thriller, I think. I had to jump on this train. I've never read this book before, but I've heard so many good things about it and some not so good things about it, but majority good things. And that is Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey Mcquestion. My roommate loves this book, and this is Achillean. This tells a story about frenemies, enemies to lovers, with a fake date trope in it. We have the Madam President's son who does not like the Prince of England, and they have to fake a friendship that leads to a relationship. Love those. I also love Achilleans, so I can't wait to see if I'm gonna like this. So yes, I had to just get this. The next one is a young adult, and it's The Storm Crow, and it's by Caitlin Josephson. I don't know anything about this really, but besides it being a magical world, maybe, and that our main protagonist controls crows somehow. I know this is also a series, so I'm hoping that I might like this. But its caption is, "A rider will rise, the rebellion will begin." Everyone knows that crows are very intelligent, so if you control some crows, more power to you. I know everyone knows about this book, and it's The Witch Haven by Sasha Smith. I know this is historical magical realism with hints of romance in it. That's basically all I know. I just know that there's witches and there's a school of witches. So it's maybe a dark academia. Who knows? But I'm ready to find out. Adam Caesar's A Clown in the Cornfield. This is a YA thriller. I know that in this town there seems to be a mischievous clown, maybe a murderous clown, and the adults in the town think that it's the kids of the town that are playing a prank on them, and the kids are like, yeah, nah bro, it's not us. Something's going on. And it just sounds so good because everyone knows a creepy clown story, and I don't like clowns like that, but I'm willing to see what this is all about. Next, I have Crackle by Rachel Harrison. I heard that this book is basically a Halloween town cozy read. It's not a horror like that, but it's horror-ish if you think about Halloween town being horror. So this is The Graveyard Apartment by Markio Koki. And oh my gosh. So basically, this family saves enough money to move into this apartment building because they really need to. When they get to this apartment building, everything's like okay for a minute, and all of a sudden they start figuring out there's something going on in the apartment building in their apartment, and it's supernatural. But like the title is, they live next to a graveyard, a cemetery. Who lives next to a cemetery? Not I, said the cat. Not I. But they do. And so maybe something in the cemetery is taking over the building. Next, I have Wrath by Ella James. This big daddy. Woof, look at that. This is a standalone sports romance, and it's an Achillean sports romance, actually. So this is I think stepbrothers Achillean, and when the sport is football, I don't know what all this what all this relationship is. I know that it's enemies to lovers. So maybe they're stepbrothers and they hate each other because they become stepbrothers, or they've already been stepbrothers, and then all of a sudden, like, they fall in love with each other. I don't know. I'm just ready for toxicness and love with a bunch of angst. Another Achillean sports romance is Him by Sabrina Bowen and Ellie Kennedy. And this is a hockey sports romance. And this is a second chance romance as well. So I think it's also friends turned enemies turned lovers. That's a lot of tropes. So this basically is about two people who, when they were younger, they went to hockey camp. They were best friends then. Something happens at hockey camp and they stop talking to each other. They both now are a part of the NHL and they're on the same team. So now they have to like be in the same setting again and work past what happened at hockey camp, while also maybe trying to keep their strong feelings for each other on the down low and not be outed. I know this is a duology because this is the first book, which is Him. The second book is Us. And the last book is Epic. So I am ready for a second chance romance Achillean. My next book is also an Achillean. It's the Unconventionally Yours by Annabeth Albert. This is my fake grade edition because it comes signed an author's note for me. This is about enemies to lovers. I think these two men are fanboys who are going on this like epic road trip to see their favorite band or musician, and they have to stay in this room with one bed, and that's usually how good stories go. Usually. And I am ready for it. Next is another queer book, and it's Achillean as well, and it's by Kat Sebastian, and it's The Queer Principles of Kit Webb. I know this is a historical queer romance, and that's basically all I know. I like the cover, so I had to get it, and it's pre-loved because I got it from PangoBooks. Then I have the first and second book by Pierce Brown. Got that name right, yes, of the Red Rising series. I have Morningstar, but I didn't have the first two. So here's Red Rising, and here is Golden Sun. Sweet Filthy Boy by Christina Lauren. This basically is about a one-night stand that turns into something more. So this girl, she decides to, not be boring. She's like, you know what? I'm going to go out with a bang. So she decides to have a one-night stand with this French boy. And then she's like, you know what? I'm going to roll the dice. I'm going to go to France with him and live the best summer of my life. And that's what she does. She decides that, you know what? We're just going to fake date. We're going to fake a relationship. But then things start turning super real. And then she realizes, maybe I don't want to go back to America and live this very boring life and go to college to do something that's going to put me at a 9 to 5. Maybe this one night stand is the one. I can't wait to read this. I heard this is like super shamey and it's kind of long. I'm ready. So Corey gave me Rainbow Row's Carry On, and then Melissa has given me Carry On the hardback edition and Wayward Son. So like, I don't know anything about this, but I do know that this basically was a Draco and Harry fanfiction come to life, but not Harry and Draco. So I don't know anything about this besides that, like, at all. And yeah, that's all I got. Next is a duology, and it's by Harlow Cole, and this is Interference in Stealing Home. This basically, the first one is about her brother's best friend. Also, if you touch her, I'll kill you kind of story. A secret relationship as well, because they don't tell her brother that they're in a relationship. So yes, a lot of tropes. I've heard so many good things about this book because of the grumpiness and the I touch you and I'll kill her, well, I'll kill you trope. I know something goes down in this book, and everyone who I know read this book is like, I don't know how she can get past what happens at the end of this book. I really want to know what happens. Like I really want to know. I've been holding off until the second one came, which is Stealing Home, and I know this one is a second chance romance. So whatever happens at the end of this book, something like maybe like years later, and he comes crawling back or something. But this is a second chance romance. I just want to know what happens at the end of this book, and how can she forgive him in this book. I want to know so bad, and I can't wait to tell you guys. Maybe. So these last three are something that I got out of my comfort zone with because of a book prompt, and I kind of fell in love with it. And Out of Position is actually by Kyle Gold, and I literally bought his other series, Love Match, and if you can't tell by the cover, it's a furry romance, a Killian actually. So I think most of Kyle's books have to do with sports and male. So Love Match is about a fox who is a tennis player, and I think his love interest is also a fox who's also a tennis player, or maybe it's the cheetah. I don't know. I just know that this is a trilogy. I have the first two books, and I am ready to figure out what's going on. And then I have Fang. Alex Vance is the one who edited the book. This is also a furry. This is a volume 1. I think there's 10 volumes. I think this is just like furry standalone stories, or each book has a different couple in it, but I can't wait to read this. Yes. As I was editing this video, more books came in, and I realized that if I just kept adding more books and waiting, I would be editing for a while because I know more books are coming in throughout this entire week. So I think I'm just going to have these last final books be it, and then have and haul my other books that are coming in throughout this week for next year. That's what I'm going to do, and I just have to. So let me just haul these books that I have. So Caleb bought me the Boyfriend Material by Alexis Hall, and obviously this is a Killian. The only thing I really know about this book, I think this is a synopsis, is that like the guy is like a CEO of a company, and he's like a playboy, and it's like a very bad image for the company. So either the company or his parents or both decide to hire someone to play his steady boyfriend, and they do, and it becomes a fake relationship that turns real. So love that kind of trope. I do know that there's a sequel to this, and it's called Husband Material, so I know that they probably are going to be strong together because they have a sequel. But thank you, Caleb, for this book. Annabelle gave me Playing the Palace by Paul Rudnick. Rudnick. And I only read because I know the synopsis because I read it, and this is also a Killian, and this is about an event planner, American event planner, who has this opportunity to run into the Prince of Wales, and they start dating. And I don't know if it's a fake relationship at first, or if it's a real relationship turning into like a very steady relationship. But I hope I like it because Annabelle says that she loves it and she highly recommends it. So I will trust her and read it. Next, my bookish came in, and everyone knows the bookish box comes in these very nice protectors. These are so nice. And the book for this month is Vestertine by Margaret Rogerson. I don't know what this book is about, but basically it says like it's an enthralling adventure with spellbinding characters, a slow burn love story, and a world worth staying lost in. That's basically what that says. I don't know, but sprayed edges, the bookends are like super cute, and then this artwork, look at that, that's so good. And last but not least is my Fox and Witch book, and it's The City Beautiful by Aiden Polydorus. Hope I said that one right. But I wanted this because of the beautiful cover. Oh my gosh, look at that. I already had the arc of it, I just never read it. I do know that this has two covers, so that is the actual cover. So I had the arc, I hadn't read the arc, but I do know that this is a historical Jewish fantasy, and it's queer. So what happens is this takes place during the World's Fair in Chicago in like 1890 something, and a serial killer is killing queer Jewish men, and our main protagonist's best friend ends up dying, and the best friend inhabits the main protagonist's body, and they both must solve who the murderer is before I think like an entity comes and takes over, or before the friend takes over the main protagonist's body. I know there's like consequences if they don't find out who this killer is that happens to both of them. But basically the back says, death lurks around every corner in this unforgettable Jewish historical fantasy about a city, a boy, and the shadows of the past that bind them both together. Oh my gosh, but again, look at that. That's just such a beautiful, beautiful cover. And that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know which of the books and got you. Like you just like, you know what? I want to read that too. I will see you guys in my next video. I will see you guys also in my next book haul for the new year. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and bye.